Here is a really exaggerated example of that. A concept car that was created by Ford called the Sinus. And let me just read to you their own description of this car and listen to the militarized language by which they brand this car and attempt to make it attractive to consumers. The Sinus gets its name from being the synthesis of an urban sanctuary. And it does contain some interesting details for living in the rough and tumble of life in the big city of the future. The Sinus looks like an armored Honda Element, and it has horizontal gun slot-like rear view windows. There is no rear window. Combination locks open the doors, and a vault-like spinner grants access through the back of the interior hideout. I could read more to you, but that begins to give you, I think, an idea of this process of legitimation and reaching back and forth. That is one very dangerous result of this interpenetration. But the influence of marketing tactics goes even further. One of the aspects, one of the facets of war culture that I have been exploring are the marketing tactics that in fact are used by the different branches of the military. And one of the things that I came across, released as a report from the Department of Defense, was a detailed description of its own program for joint marketing communications. Here are a few of the studies that they undertook. One to figure out how to reach members of the Hispanic community. One to figure out how to recruit college dropouts. And another, how to find just the right messages that will hit home with mothers. This stuff has direct implications. Ads such as these are commonly found, especially in women's magazines. Have any of you seen them? And one of my students was telling me that they saw a similar kind of ad on a billboard in the Lehigh Valley recently. So you see how the kind of marketing analysis leads then to specific tactics in the world of advertising. Not only in magazines, however, but also then in terms of the internet. So this particular website is connected with this marketing campaign, and it's really quite fascinating. It's actually run by mothers, and in order to have access to this website and become admitted as a user, you have to fit a certain profile, which is very pro-military. I want to move now to talking a little bit more about entertainment, popular culture, and youth culture. One of the tactics that increasingly has been used by the military is the creation of video games as a recruiting tool. How many of you know about this? A few of you do. And one of the most popular games is America's Army. So now we have interpenetration happening as the military partners with the video game corporations. And it gets even more nefarious, as you'll see, to create these games, which then they provide free of charge on the internet. Of course, and what you do is you go to the website to download the game onto your own machine, and then you can play it. Now, you'll also notice that on the website, you can very easily talk to a recruiter. You can read blogs from actual soldiers in the military. You can read graphic novels that have the same kinds of narrative lines, and you can download and play the game. So you see how all of these sort of threads are just kind of coming together. By the way, let me just go down a tiny bit. You'll notice down at the bottom the teen rating. The teen rating. When I ask my college students in my classes about what this means for them and their families in terms of permission to play these games, they tell me that generally their parents let them start playing T-rated games when they're about 11. So this is what our 11-year-olds are getting exposed to. And I want to show you quickly at least part of the trailer. There are actually many trailers that have been created for this game. Here's one of them. Ubisoft, of course, is a gaming corporation. So notice all of the different corporations that are a part of making this happen. Now, what I also want to tell you is that the weaponry that you're seeing is actual weaponry that's used in the U.S. military. So they're very careful about making this as reality-based as possible. We'll just see a little bit of it. It almost looks like actual footage from a war zone, doesn't it? And in fact, soldiers have provided direct consultation to the creation of these games to make them as close to reality as possible. So see, these are all actual weapons that are used in the American military. I think that's probably enough, isn't it? Not only has the military infiltrated the reality of video gaming, which of course is a very important part of American youth culture, interpenetration works in the other direction as well. In fact, at least since '97, there have been direct orders from branches of the military to have soldiers play these same war games in order to increase their skills for use on the battlefield. Last fall, when I went to the movies, I was watching the trailers for various films, and perhaps like me, you've seen this when suddenly a National Guard recruitment video came up on the screen. And I found it especially interesting, once again, because of all of the various threads that came together in this particular trailer. So what you have here is the popular rapper and musician Kid Rock. And here you have a NASCAR race driver hero. So we've got popular music, we've got NASCAR, and we've got the National Guard all coming together. And it's even more than that, because Hollywood, a prominent Hollywood filmmaker, actually filmed the trailer. The same one who was involved in some of the Batman movies. So we've got Hollywood, we've got the music industry, the branches of the military, all involved in the creation of this. And this is a very kind of interesting, I would call it a very masculinized, heroicized narrative that this spins out. I hope you can hear some of the lyrics. Okay, so you see the pains that are taken in this trailer to portray the National Guard in a certain way kicking the ball out. They're in some kind of a neighborhood that looks distinctly like it could be perhaps somewhere in Iraq. Kicking the ball out of the way and presenting a very friendly face to the villagers. Let me show you one other. This also is connected to a website, these same trailers, and now there are a number of them. Have some of the others of you seen these in the movie theaters when you've gone to see a movie? Now there are a number of these, and they all feature very popular musicians who our children are familiar with, are well acquainted with. And then of course you can, and in fact in the trailer itself it directs you to the video website where you can find out a lot more information about the National Guard. Of course you can contract a recruiter. What I find particularly interesting about this is again the lineup. Wait, let's see. Let's wait. So here you've got the NASCAR hero, the soldier, and Kid Rock. So there's here's the triumvirate of the heroes. The same week that I happened to see the Kid Rock trailer in the movie theater, Associated Press released a video of a very different kind. It was a cell phone video of families mourning children and women and old people who had been killed as a result of a drone. I won't show that to you, but the juxtaposition of those two videos for me was so striking. Here is one last, I think, example of the infiltration into youth culture. The Army Experience Center has recently been established at the Franklin Mills Mall in Philadelphia. And this is a huge, multifaceted complex that is right next to a skate park. Do you all know what those are? These are places where youth go in with their skateboards. And it's also right next to a multiplex theater. So it was very intentionally placed right where lots of youth would be sure to gather. And once again, using lots of internet-based, electronic kinds of attractions, this is a rather poorly disguised recruiting center. Let me just share a couple of things about this with you. This is actually a news report about it that came out when it was first opened.
Enjoyable diversions for 19-year-old childhood pals Zach Seaver and Spencer Elmore, who stumbled into the rock showing time at the skate park and out of familiar stores in Philadelphia.
This is what I wanted to get to. Here are these two young men who have been playing the simulations, and listen to what they say about it.
Now, with 2 years of college and big worries about the job market, they were heading home from an unplanned trip to the mall with a plan for the future. They started talking, and we're probably going to hit it. They are the casually dressed staff of the first Army Experience Center, a $13 million installation the size of 3 basketball courts, filled with high-end video game stations, those simulators.
Okay, this has also, I should say, been the site of some active protesting on the part of people who are not happy about it. This has been particularly, I think, nefariously active with respect to the Latino community. Hummers such as this, painted with the words Yo soy el Army, are taken to places where Latino youth are likely to gather. The inside of these kinds of vehicles are appointed with plush leather seating, the latest video technology and games, very high-level music systems, and so forth. So I hope this helps to give you a sense of some of the different facets that I think we need to be aware of and that are worth exploring, and think about what does all of this mean when taken as a whole. Economics, popular culture, youth culture. We didn't talk very much about educational institutions, but we certainly could. Everyday life, corporations. And so I guess I will stop there and invite some conversation from all of you.